Yes, hope all of you okay. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today actually we are gonna go through what we call how to develop an app, a simple calculator in Android Studio using Java mainly. You can use Kotlin, but for my application, I'm gonna use Java. And actually, if you understand Kotlin, you can still use the same code and then transform it into Kotlin, because Android Studio has a way you can convert from Java to Kotlin. So how do you start? You open your Android Studio, then you come to new project, because what you're gonna do is a new project. So actually you create a new project. When this screen will come, and then we are gonna choose an empty activity here. This one you see. Remember, make sure you have clicked on phone and tablet, because it's very difficult to find. Okay, we've always find calculators on PCs, but for this one, it's gonna be built for phone and a tablet. So, and then you choose an empty activity, then you click next. On clicking next, they tell you to add in your name. So here you can add in your name, simple calculator. Yeah, you can add in your name, simple calculator. Don't worry, you can even put in a space. As you can see down here in the package name, Android Studio stores everything in such a way that it puts them in an example or projects. That's a way, the format or how you can access your package. Then here you can either choose or Java or Kotlin, but for me I'm gonna use Java, so I leave it in Java. So then here you can choose the minimum SDK, minimum Android version it can run. You can choose any, but for mine I'm gonna use 7. I use 7, or can use also 5. So then after you click finish, I won't click finish because I have already created mine. That's how you create the project. Now on clicking, when you click finish, it will take in some time before it brings back the window. So they are gonna bring two things: an activity and a main activity. So when you find this activity actually is made using a ZML language. ZML is like an HTML language which is used to do a front end of for example, HTML does front end. So also ZML does front end. Then we are gonna use Java to do the background mainly, the back end. So that's why you have two files of ZML and then file of Java. If you click here and you find here, you'll see how that's what I'm talking about. You can see you have the com.example. That's how they store project in Android Studio. So when you click, you find actually here we are gonna use a relative layout. These are just a simple settings. This is a relative layout. It's also a set tag in ZML. And then don't consider this, because when you create your new project, actually also these settings will come already. So then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna actually try to create. Remember, a calculator, as you can see here, it has two text fields. Remember, there's where you type in the numbers, the additions, and then this will be the result TV. It's where results appear. So this one we call it a text view. You have one text view. That text view is actually, I'm gonna give it an idea of solution TV, where you type everything. Then width is gonna be match parent. Then height is gonna be also match parent. It means the size, or the decimal points should be the same as the ones remaining in the parent. The remaining space, as you can see. If you see, remember the rest of the space is taken up by this and also this. So the rest of the space then will be taken back by the solution TV. Then I come to the layout, and I want it. The layout above means where do you want it to be? I want it to be above this text view. But this text view has an ID of result TV. That's why it comes here. ID above result TV. Then margins, it's from the ends. I give it 16 dp. Then the text has nothing. There's nothing. Then but when someone wants to type in there, the text must appear at the end. Then I come to color. Color, you will see, I chose black. This text color is for the text color of the digit type. I chose black. Then the text size, let it be 32. Then I create another, actually this one causes here, this tag here, the text view. Then I create another text view. Give it a result TV ID. match parent width. Remember, I also cut. Why am I giving it parent? It's taking the width. The width is from here up to here. But so I want also my TV to have the same width. So then the height, for it the height, I'm gonna give it wrap content, because if I give it match parent, it will take up another space. So I just want it to wrap that content. So that's why you see where the 0 ends is actually where our height also stops. Then I want it to be above the buttons layout. Now this thing here, which we see here, as you can see, this thing is actually the whole of this region. I gave it an idea of a buttons layout. Yeah, I gave it an idea of a buttons layout. So I want also this one to appear above the buttons layout. Then the margin is also 16 dp. Then the background, I gave it a set background. As you can see, there's a difference between here and here, just to differentiate it from the solution TV. So on the result TV, I used to have a different background. Then alignment, also is also, as you can see, if you can see that the 0 is appearing at the end, as you can see, it's appearing at the end. Then the text is actually, the text is 0, as you can see here. Then the also text color is black. Then text size is 64 dp. So many of you wonder, why am I putting at color? So the at color stock black is actually, that's how ZML language works. Then I come to layer. Now remember, you have to put in buttons, and when you're creating a button, that means you have to put in a layout, because buttons appear in a layout. So I'm gonna create a linear layout. A linear layout means, as you hear the linear, it takes the thing in either vertical or horizontally. So I'm gonna give it a width also of match parent, as you can see from here up to it's giving match parent, as you can see. Then I come and give it a height of wrap content. Whatever is gonna be, as you can see, it wraps everything, all the buttons. So I give it wrap content. Then orientation, I'm gonna give it vertical. Why am I giving it vertical? Here, now we're here, we are gonna create another linear layout inside the vertical one. I'm gonna explain it there in front after some period of time. Then I come here, layout align parent bottom is equal to true. Layout align parent bottom, as in, remember this is the bottom. Okay, this is the parent, the whole thing. So I want this layout to appear at the bottom of the parent. So that's why it comes here to the bottom. And actually this is a Boolean attribute. So it says that true or false. So then the padding top background, I give it also some back colors. You can see the background is somehow different. Then the ID, I gave it a buttons layout. Now we are gonna create another linear layout inside this linear layout. So as you can see, remember the first linear layout is vertical. It comes vertical. Now I want to create a layout. I want to create a layout which goes horizontal. That's why I create another linear layout which is inside. So I come here and create a layout with it. I want it to be match parent. Still the same. Then it must also be, as you can see, there's this horizontal thing here inside here. There's this horizontal layout, meaning it is also wrapping its content. As you can see, there's this one which goes down, but here this one also. Remember, for it, our vertical linear layout is, remember, vertical is actually going downwards. Then horizontal you go. That's why this one orientation will be in the horizontal, meaning going in the sides. Now to create a button, you must be having a material button, because actually we create buttons in Android Studio using a material button. So I give it a width of 72 dp, height of 72 dp. So as you can, if you can see here, this card box has width, actually it's like a square, height 72, width 72. Then now, since I want them to be round, I'm gonna give them some corner radius of 32 dp. So then the style is some color. How do I want it to appear? So this is actually, you can very get it. Actually, when you Z demo, you can choose different size. Then the size will be, so the size of this C over the button will be C. The other text in the button, so I want it to be 32. Then the color, I give it white. Background int is the background of the button itself. So it comes to 12 dp. Then I give it an ID of button C and I give it text of C. Then I create other, remember now this is just one button. So I will create other 4 buttons inside this linear layout. I will create other 4 buttons for open bracket. You can see it there. For it has another background. Then I also come here and also give material. So I also create another button of division and also close bracket. Then as you can see, I'm closing the first linear layout, the horizontal one. Then after closing that one, now that will be the horizontal one. So remember, we are still in this. As you can see here, if I'm to close here, if I close there, I'll be having only 2. I'll be having the first linear. Then I open this. I'll be having the first linear layout. But if I'm to close here, you will see that I'm having another linear. So I'm gonna copy the same content in this linear layout, not the vertical one, in the horizontal linear layout. So I should paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I paste in 5 linear layouts inside the vertical one. That's why you see that we are having 5 linear layouts. As you can see here, we are having 5 linear layouts. This one is the vertical one, but then we have 5 linear horizontal layouts. So that's how we make up the other 4. The code in each is the same. Only what changes is the number and I think the background. But the code, if I click on here on my button 5, they'll bring it here. You can see it has width same, corner region same, style same, size the same, color same, margin same. Then the button, then the text only changes. If I click on 1, everything is the same. 1, everything is the same. Only on SC, you come just the background changes to red. So everything is that. So that's how you create buttons. Then when you're done, now we are done with the front end. Now we come to the main activity.java. Now this Java, we do actually the background. We do the background. So if you see here, is com.example.c for car, but this is how I created my project. So you already find it there. So before actually maybe you go there, we come here under resources. When you come under resources, you click on resources, you come to values. When you come to values, you find themes. When you come to themes, now you have 2 files. There's that file and also this file. You open them. So I want you to change 2 things. I want you to change that. Actually, this like I'm gonna show it there. Now this appears to be at the top of the phone, where there's that horizontal bar where they normally show the battery, the percentage remaining, Airtel network, how is it far, the bars. So this is how the color, this is how we change it. So you change this to the color primary and also the color primary variant. They will be able to, and you put in the color which you want. So for mine, I chose, this is actually color black. This is actually color black. Then you come here. After then you come here, then you see here you find light bar. You find light bar, but I want you to put in .no action bar. You add it there. Then I also come here in the first one. Then you can actually close this. You can close this. Then also here put in action bar. Then the same car. So you change in these 2 files the same. Then in the main activity.java file, we are so remember, actually it will come with this class. The class will come already. What you only need to do is add on this implement. You have to implement. Remember, for us, we are gonna be using the on-click listener. So there is a class. So we want this class main activity. It actually extends an app compact activity, but you want it to be implementing a v.onClick listener. So you have to add this on that class to show that we are implementing, because we want to wait when we click on a button, the result appears. So we are using that on click. Then, so since we have 2 text views, I'm gonna create the button, the variables. So the variable for text view, user TV, and solution TV. Then the material button, I have 4. Actually, I have like 20. If I come back here, all these are material. Okay, my elementor doesn't work, but when what I was talking about, when you change the colors here in the top corner here, there are some. Actually, that's the color you're changing. Yeah, if it was a phone, it was supposed to be black. So I come to my main activity again. So I create all the variables for material button. So there's button C, bracket, close bracket, divide, and also you create for all button. These are just variables. Then after, these are so I want to connect my variables with the buttons this side in the front end. Remember, each button has an ID, so I'm in the front end. So I come here for the text views. I will just come here. So you actually find that this set content view actually will also come already, because it actually this thing layout activity I mean I will show it later. So then if you come to result TV, there's find view by ID. Result TV, find view by ID. So we want, when you click our variable result TV, when we call it, it should show us a view, which view has an ID. Actually, in here we use arrow.id to find the result TV. Remember, result TV now the ID which it must show is this one, which is the result TV. So now I have connected this result TV variable here into connecting with the front end of something which has a result TV ID. Then the same for the solution TV, it should return the view of solution TV ID. So you find that now for the text TVs, I'm done. Now for the material buttons, actually, I'm going to use a function. So I'm going to use a function of assign ID. It takes in a material button, btn, and then its ID. Now I want that button to find view. It should, when you click on a button, it should find a view by ID, and that button still, this variable here, btn dot set on click listener this. So like when you click on that button, we want that very button which has been clicked on. So then I come here and assign IDs to each. Have button C, its ID is button C. So you assign all of them, as you can see. Don't worry, the code I'm gonna provide a link to my GitHub account whereby you can access that code. Or I will provide a link whereby you can access my GitHub account. So then I come to public void on click. So then if I come to material button here, material button view. So I have string button. Now this class, it already comes with the when you implement the on click listener, so bring in this method on click. Now, so for it just takes in a view. So now I want a material button. So I create a material button, a variable button, and that when you click on that button, I want the view of we are casting the button into we are casting the view into a button. So it's like I want that, but when you click on that button, I want the text it is holding to be printed in a certain view, which may be either result TV or a solution TV. That's what it means. Then I come to string button text. I create a variable button text. Now this button text, you will see that it gets the button, this material button, it gets the button that has been clicked, and then get that text inside that button. That's why I use the get text. Then it returns it turns it into a string. That's why I have the two to string. So now this button text is actually holding a string. Then we have to have the data it calculates. Now the string calculate data will be equal to solution TV. Remember, this one is just for a single button. Until when you click on 8, 9, 7, it will be showing just one. But we want this data to keep on concatenating with the other data. So I come here and I calculate string calculate data will be equal to solution TV dot get text dot to string. And I want that when now this is just a variable. For it, it's going to get whatever is in the solution TV. Remember, solution TV is our first text view. It will get then the text in that solution TV and then puts into a string. This one means nothing has been put in that text. Okay, there's something, but Okay, I'm gonna explain it. So I come here and I show you. If the button, if this what you have pressed, if the button text is equal to a button S, remember AC clears. I want the result TV. Okay, before I explain this, let me go down here. Okay, this if you see, if the button text, sorry, so okay, let me explain this. If this button text is equal to S, remember S clear. So now I want my result TV to set text. So its view, I want it to set its view to 0, the result TV. Then the solution TV to set its view to nothing. So it clears everything, both the answer and the final result, and then everything in the solution TV. And then I say return, stop there. Then I have another if. When you click on equals, remember equals, you get the result. So I explain equals later. Okay, equals, what it says, get whatever is in the solution TV, and you set text. We are transforming whatever is in the solution TV, and we put it into a result TV. But this result TV should get text where from the solution TV. That's what it means. That's why we are starting with a variable of solution TV. Solution TV dot set text. Yes, you're setting a text, but remember when you set text, whatever you have is actually taken whatever you're sending it to. Now we are sending it into a result TV, but the result TV, remember result TV, we want to return when it's like in a form of a text. So it has to get that text from the solution TV. Then I also say stop, return. Then if the button is equal to C, I want remember C, this is the last character that has been entered. So I want this captured data dot sub. So my captured data. Remember, captured data is like reoccurring. It's reoccurring because when you capture data, if you click on a 0, it's button text. When you click on a 1, it's also button text. But this one is captured data because now we want those two. Because if I only put your button text, you'll be only clicking 6. When you click on 6, when you click on 7, 6 is deleted and then 7 is printed. When you click on 9, 9 is printed and then 7 is deleted. But I want when you click 9, 6, everything remains there, nothing is deleted. That's why I bring in captured data such that when you click on button, on captured data, I'll show you down there. So I want this captured data, everything that is in the solution TV will be called captured data dot substring. Substring is a string function whereby it cuts off some characters in the string. I want it to start from the 0, the first character that was initially inserted, to the last character that has been recently entered. That's why we say this is the beginning of the string, then this is the ending of the string. We capture the length of that string minus 1. So that means that we have cut off the last character, meaning C will be working the way we want. Then here we don't return because actually sometimes we just need one character when you want to put in another character. Then when you click on else, I want you to calculate data is equal to. That means if at all you don't click on any of this, on either C, on equals, or on C, I want you to calculate data. Calculate data here, as you can see. I want you to calculate data is equal to calculate data plus button text. That means when you click on, remember, I told you at first, when you click on button 7 and you click a 6 and you want to write like 76, it will just take away the 7 and then print the 6. But I want it to keep those two numbers. So that's why I bring in the calculate data. So calculate data will be equal to calculate data plus button text. So now it's reoccurring. So in the same solution TV, when you click on a 7, that is button text. And actually it's taken into it. Now this calculate data. Now guess what? Remember this, when you click on this, it takes it into the solution TV. Now we want to, when you click on this captured data, for it to get whatever in the solution TV, gets the text in the solution TV and puts it into a string. Now when I say captured data is equal to captured data, remember it is holding some string plus the next button text that is to be pressed, which will be 6. So here now we're having two variables. For this one, that's why we are having string concatenation. It is already holding the value that was printed before, so there will be some looping, as you can see. And then I come. Then after, so I will say solution tv.set text. So I want whatever you set to captured data. Now, before I come there, I come to this function. How do we get the result? The result, I'm gonna create a function, get result, insert in string data. So, but before I go there, you need to be assured that we are gonna add in some dependencies. So when you click on, if you come to here, Gradle scripts, and you come to build grade, and so actually I want you to add in this dependency here from Rhino, that this dependency, because I'm going to import in some classes. So you add in this dependency, which is Rhino Android version is 1.6.0. So then, because if you don't add in, you get errors in your code. Then if I come back to my main activity, then after adding, actually here you have to sync. There will be a button here, sync, meaning you're adding it there. So then if you come here, then for the imports, you add in some imports. After adding in that, you add in these two imports: import org.mozilla.javascript.context and also org.mozilla.java.scriptable. So you have to add in these two imports of context and scriptable. Then I come to back here to the get result function. Now I'm gonna use a try catch. It's taking in a string data. So I want, this is some code, context is equal to context is equal to enter. Now this code here enables us to calculate. Actually, it is a class which shows that when you click on divide, when you click on multiplication, the answer will be good. So most of the things actually done for you, like the back end. So those two classes enable you to have it. So just all need to do is to get your string final result, to bring the context that evaluate string. You just actually get this as it appears here. So then if there's an error, return error. So now I get this string final result is equal to, now I've got a string of final result is equal to the get result function, and that get result is actually calculating what the captured data. Remember, captured data will be holding concatenated strings. For example, 7 plus 7, 6, 5 plus 4. So whatever is there in the captured data is actually gonna be calculated, and then the final result will be good. Now, if the final result is equal to error, result if you set text to set text final result. So if the final result is not equal to error, I want the answer to be shown in the result TV. But if it equals to an error, then the result won't be shown in the in the video. So that's it. Thank you. I'm gonna provide a link to the code if you want to access it. Then for the don't forget to add in the dependencies. Thank you for being a very nice audience.